This is Magik More, the party spark of the J team, 8-time extraordinaire, the caterator. This is your boy Chuck C from them throwback boys, stacks on deck, Zone 3 representative, and this is Atlanta rap history.
First rap we had was letting Mojo handle it, and then MC Shotty came with the Pink Panther. Who rock, that's when D-Rock fell through, and Sammy Sound the Hitman was all brand new. Can't forget my homegirl named Easy T, the hard buzzing ghetto mafia from the east. Success in effect, a group called Damage, King Edward J making mixtapes. Man, it's a whole lot of history folks don't even know about. Leave it up to Raheem, cause I'm about to show out.
We're back, we back again with another episode.
That's right.
This your boy Chuck C from them throwback boys.
Yes, sir. And this your boy Magik Boy, the party spark of the J team.
Hey man, and this is
yes,
Atlanta
sir.
rap history, and we back again, as y'all can see, with some very special guests. Now, when we talk Atlanta rap history, you can't talk Atlanta rap history without these two guys. Now,
Of course not.
our earlier guests, they was Atlanta rap history, but they was known around Atlanta. These guys took it around the world. These guys went multi-platinum with it. These guys had all kind of deals and everything that took the rap game to a different level. More than just rappers, more than just producers, businessmen that took the game to a whole nother level. And it's our guest, it's our honor, it's our pleasure to have Tag Team in the house.
Tag Team.
What's happening?
Hey, it's an honor and it's a pleasure. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Damn, when you put it like that, boy.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm like, who's these niggas?
Hey, hey, man, listen, it's important that we give our legends their respect now. It's important that we give them their respect, their kudos, their shout outs now. It's important that we let the people know the history and that this thing didn't just start with Future. It didn't just start, the Atlanta rap scene didn't start with Future. It didn't start with Outkast. And it goes way before that. So the reason we came up with this show was to educate and let the people know the history of Atlanta rap. And when we talk about the history of Atlanta rap, you guys are a big part of that.
Most definitely, most definitely. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Y'all climb
Appreciate
heights. Y'all climb heights that can never be climbed, man.
Yes, yes. I'm talking about awards, Kids Choice Awards. Like, how many people got a Kids Choice? How many rappers got Kids Choice Awards?
That's what I'm talking about. That's
So
what I'm talking about.
I ain't never heard it put like that.
Think about it. Think about it.
Hey, tell us the rest of it, man. Tell us the rest of it, Chelsea.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It was just bigger than what they really know. The reach went way bigger than what the people really know. But on this channel, we like to start from the beginning. So first, starting with DC Supreme, introduce yourself and tell us where you from and where you were born.
Well, I'm DC the Brain Supreme of Tag Team from Denver, Colorado, and moved down here in 1989 and had a job at CNN and went to Magic City and lost my mind.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And that 4 days later, I was in the DJ booth of Magic City, making my girls money.
Wow.
So all the way back in 1989.
Coming home.
I ain't coming home. I ain't coming home. How about you, Mr. Steve Rowland?
Hey, what's happening? Yeah. This me, Steve Rowland, man, of Tag Team. I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, man. I moved to Denver at about 4, and I moved down here to Atlanta back in '88. And I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta, yeah. I was at the Art Institute of Atlanta, and yeah, I enjoy making beats and recording people, and anything to do with audio. So
That's right.
that's where I was at.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we solely feel where you come from, because actually, man, this guy here, man, we know each other from audio engineering school. So
That's where we met. Audio engineering
that's
school.
right.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Which one was y'all
So
at?
shout out to the schools, man. All of them, across that, man. Just teach this stuff, man, and keep it going. And
Yeah.
that's just what we set out to do with this Atlanta rap history, man.
Which one y'all go to?
We went to Omnitech. We both graduated
okay,
from
yeah.
Omnitech Institute.
You know
Man,
what? I taught a class at Omnitech one time.
Shout out to Omnitech.
Yeah. My
Alumni.
boy, I got a
Omnitech
partner.
alumni.
Yeah,
That's right.
did said Mac teach you, or was it somebody else?
Mr. Baldwin.
Baldwin, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Ball for the most part, and
Mr. Richburg.
Mr. Richburg. Yeah.
Okay,
out of New
yeah.
York.
My partner said Mac
Yeah.
was working there. He was teaching there and stuff, and he asked me to come in and teach, and shoot, I tried it out. It was cool, but I didn't stick with it, man. I could have had a job there. Yeah.
So was it school that brought you to Atlanta?
That was it. Yep.
How about
As a
you,
matter of
DC
fact,
Supreme?
it was an art institute. It was an art institute, like maybe about 6 or 7 miles away from my house in Denver. And and I said, I'm going down to Atlanta. And then like I came down here, and I didn't see nothing but black folks in cars, and I just everywhere I looked, I seen black folks, and I didn't grow up like that, Well, I was with black folks because we with our people, but I seen a lot of other folks, man. But boy, I seen all black folks down here. I said, man, it ain't nothing. I ain't never leaving this place. And then I went to Charles the first night I got here.
Charles Disco. Shout out to Charles
man.
Disco.
I went to Charles the first night I got here, man. Oh man, I had a blast. Me and my brother. Yeah, we was rolling with this dude. Yeah, so all that this was back in '88, man.
88.
I even went to a Freaknik back in '88, and it was live.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I was there, and it was definitely live. Yes,
yeah, it was some
Nothing
dudes
like
from
94, 95.
yeah, it was somebody from Washington D.C. A go-go band was there. I think it was at White Park, if I remember right. And it was a go-go band there. Huh?
Piedmont Park.
Nah, this one right here was the one in '88. So it was like in the hood somewhere, man. I think, like I said, I think it was White Park.
Like that.
White Park. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it might have been White Park because it was close to the AU. But yeah. Well,
So Mr. DC Supreme, you
Yes,
said
sir.
you were actually DJing at Magic City.
Let me set up for you.
Yes.
Steve come down here in '88. He's like, bruh, gotta bring your ass down here. I'm like, all right, I'll come down there for Christmas. So I get a flight, come down for Christmas. And one of our friends, brother, Christmas and New Year's, one of our friends, brother Jeff, right? First place he take me is the Magic City. And I had $500 in my pocket, right? That's supposed to last me the whole Christmas break. And we rolled up in Magic City, and I had never seen nothing like that in my life. We're talking, like, you've always heard of the expression like Amazon women, 6 foot, 6'2", fine, stacked, big booty, just beautiful, right? That's what I walked into, and it was like 50 of them, right? Yeah. And before we walked out of there, Tinkle and Sparkle had all my money. And I spent my whole little stack that night on the first night at Magic City. And I kind of knew right then and there that it was going down and I was going to move to Atlanta because that was my senior year in college. And, I went back, got a U-Haul. Steve flew out and we drove all the way across country and loaded up and brought me back down to Atlanta.
Wow.
And that's when it got started, right? And I had, I did what I was supposed to do, had a job lined up, and I had to get back to Magic City. So I was just like, I was in there just having a good time, and the DJ sucked, right? And I was doing well in California because I went to Sac State up in Northern California. I was doing well in California as a DJ. And you know, I came down here and the DJ wasn't doing too well that night. I don't know if he was drunk or I can't remember what it was, but everybody was pissed off. And I was like, man, I could do some shit up in here. And I was standing next to this brother named Tim, Big Tim. And it's ironic because he ended up being on the road with us back in the day. But Big Tim was like, there go Magik right there. And, you know, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I went up to Magik. I was like, hey, man, you need a DJ? He's like, no, I don't need no DJ, but I need to cook. Come see me Monday. Right? So I went down and saw Magik on Monday. And he was like, all right, motherfucker, you cook, you can cook and you be the backup DJ. Right? And I was like, cool. So I might have cooked. I remember I cooked a salad and a couple of chicken wings and DJ Andre. Andre was like, yo, man, I gotta go run some errands, man. Cover for me. See, that was back in the beginning, right? That's back in the day. You never let a DJ on your wheels of steel, right?
Right.
Because he will take your shit.
Right.
For real. Like, you know, it's just survival of the fittest. And once I got up there, it was over. I started talking, started spinning, started making the girls money, and I ended up DJing the rest of the day. And we had a big meeting. Anybody know about Magic City? They know we have a meeting every the first Sunday every month, and that happened to be that Sunday. And I went to the meeting, and all the girls got up, and it was like, I'll never forget it, Indigo. We call it Indigo. She was like, we want him. And right then and there, I was the head DJ. And then I just fell in, and we was making money, and it was a blast. Wow. And that's how I became to be the head DJ at Magic City. It was actually July of 1989, because the first thing I did here when I got down here, went to go see Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee. Yep. So
you did the right thing, brother.
Yep, that summer I worked at Magic City till we left, and my last day at Magic City was Freaknik '93.
Wow.
We got our record deal, and I was like, I'm out of here. Gave Magic my 2-week notice and got out of there Freaknik, and a month and a half later we were platinum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let me back it up for a second.
The soundtrack. Y'all most definitely the soundtrack for the Freaknik.
Yeah. Let me back it up for a second. Now, you were DJing at Magic City, you say back in 89?
Yep.
All right. So anybody that's in the rap industry or in the game know that when you're trying to break a record, it's important to get that record played at Magic City. It's a must to get it played at Magic City. So back in 89, what independent artist was trying to get their records played?
Didn't work like that back then.
What?
It didn't work like that back then. Okay, so here's how it worked. Everybody you was either in a record pool or you had the record company reps come around and give you vinyl. So you had to, if you was a good DJ, you was on the top of every record, company's list. So they made sure you had the records, right? It wasn't no cats running. I mean, think about it. Back then, all we had was cassette. CDs hadn't even really came out yet.
Right.
All it was cassette. So wasn't nobody coming to me talking about, hey, dog, play my cassette. I'll throw you $100. Wasn't none of that. We was playing vinyl. Now, and nobody had to. I think the first, like one of my favorite records of all time was one of the first records I ever heard down here, and that's Success and Effect, Roll It Up.
Roll It Up, yeah.
I heard Roll It Up, and I was like, that shit is the shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like that. And then, the guy who was putting the money behind him, his name was Big Don, right? And Big Don, I mean, he's the one that got the girls for the videos. He's the one that kind of, fronted the whole project. And so that was like family, that was Magic's boy. So I was fully immersed in the whole culture of Atlanta right off the rip. And I had never heard, I heard Luke. We had heard Luke. We had heard Shy D. Shy D is one of my favorite records too. We heard that in Denver, right? Denver, Colorado. Okay.
That's
Two Live Crew, Throw That D. In Denver, Colorado, we heard that. And I can tell you, me and Steve was in the club together, and that shit fucked us up. because
It did.
just the reaction of everybody dancing their ass off to that, and we in Denver, right? So all these, you know, we've been doing this since the beginning of hip hop, dog, since Planet Rock, right? And we've witnessed all these events happen. We witnessed Shadi's record blow up. We witnessed Luke and them blow up. You know, one of our best friends is Mr. Mix and 2 Live Crew. We witnessed him blow up back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been here since the beginning. When I was DJing in California, the reason I became so versed is because I ordered records from East Coast. I ordered records from LA, from the Bay Area, and it was just vinyl. You could only get vinyl. So back to your original question, the breaking records thing kind of started with me. I'm not saying I'm the one that started, but I can tell you that Doug Craig, he worked for A&M Epic, A&M and then Epic Records. Doug Craig bought me a record, Candyman. And Candyman was just, you know, it kind of was a forethought. They said, we're going to try to work it because he was an LA artist. And I showed Doug, I said, girls like that Candyman. And, you know, they came to soon realize that if you could get one of the girls to dance to your record gets played 3-4 times a night.
Right.
And then if everybody sees that girl making money off that record, now your record's in rotation all the time because another girl, they fighting over the record now, right? And Doug Craig is watching this. And Doug Craig is going back to his higher ups saying, we got a hit record in Candyman. And they're like, oh, man, you bullshitting. Don't nobody like that record. They didn't believe him. But Atlanta was one of the first markets that Candyman broke. And then it broke nationwide, and it became a pretty good record. And after that, all the records started dropping. You know, you got Kilo. Kilo, I'm talking about the original Kilo, Do You Hear What I Hear? Not the one where he had to redo it. Yeah, I'm talking about the one where he got the Christmas song for the sample, right? That broke in Magik because it was three other clubs. It was Magic City, Paradise City, which used to be the old Gentleman's Club, and you had Montrez, you had Blue Flame. Nicky's wasn't even around yet. I think Purple Onion was out before Nicky. Purple Onion was first. Yeah, Purple Onion, right? So you only had those are the only clubs that were black. All the clubs we know as black clubs today used to be white clubs, right? So
that's about right.
You had very little. You had only other place you had to go was 112. The big clubs, Dion's, Dominique's, Sharon Showcase. What else? Showcase. You know what I mean? And then, just little hood clubs on Campbellton Road. You know, places like that. Silver Fox. You know what I mean? Those were the only. That's where a lot of records got broke, right? And it slowly started happening where LaFace came about, and their first artist was Damian Dane. Remember Damian Dane? Right. That started Magic City. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, you got Warner Brothers coming in. You got every record company coming in, seeking me out because they know that I can, they want to see what it is so they can go back and make a report and send it back to New York and LA. Wow. Right. So that's how record breaking truly got started back then because there was no, play my record. Nobody, and if we did have a record, it was because the record stores were breaking them, right? Because I'll go to record stores, Tina and Hiram. They would have them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they were the true record breakers because they were the DJs back then, kind of. Everybody would go to Tina and be like, Tina, what you think this gonna do, Tina? What you think this gonna do? And then all the other record stores, and then I'm going to the record store, I'm like, what you got, Tina? I go buy records from them. So I'd have records before the reps would even bring them to me sometimes because that's what I did. I bought records from everywhere because whoever has the best records first is going to be a top DJ because you get to play the hottest stuff first, and you always going to be able to. Your crowd will always trust you because they know that you do good shit. Your reputation precedes you, right? So that's how that worked, and. I mean, I really was never in the frame of mind that I'm a record breaker till later on in my career, like at least to the 2000s, because that's when that kind of started. And then like maybe 2005, that's when everybody started talking about I break records. And I'm just like, I mean, you know, dude, I've been doing this since '89. I've been doing this since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I could tell you, you know, I could spend all night telling you the whole history of everything that pertains to tag
like
team because we are the history.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, you know.
So
And
like you were
Atlanta
saying
rap history.
back then, to like we were saying today, is kind of commonplace. You know, soon as you leave the studio, you pulling up at Magic City. But back in those days, it was actually the record label reps that was coming in with the records.
Yep. They was coming in the records from that.
You had to get it pressed up, man. Or something had to be done like that, man. You know, studios were different then.
Yeah.
That's what, and that's
you couldn't do it in your bedroom.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it in your bedroom and then bring it because we used to do it in our bedroom. You know what I'm saying? We used to, but it was only on cassette, so you can only play we would play stuff.
4-track. Yeah.
4-track.
Yeah.
4-track. Yeah.
Tascam 4-track. You know what I mean?
4-track.
And you could play stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like, you know, I mean, because that's you had to go to the studio if you really wanted to.
You had to have somebody that programmed. You had to have somebody that know how to do all that. You know, somebody had to have an SP1200 or an MPC or AR10. Say they had to have something to make them records, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's where I was back in the day. I was back in the day, man. I went to school with an engineer named Jim Sapano, and he became the guy who owns a studio called Zach's that sat right next door to Bobby Brown's studio back in the day, Bosstown, before it was Outkast's studio, before
it's Outkast studio now. Yeah.
Right. It was one next to it called Zach, and you know, he was my teacher and stuff. But we back in the day, man. This is another thing that happened, man. I used to go out on South Cobb Drive. And I had all this equipment. So I would take my equipment, my drum machine and a sampler or so out to this man named Harry O'Brien. And Harry O had a studio called Atlanta Recording Studio. In that Atlanta Recording Studio, I used to be the guy that programmed this stuff because he was like a paraplegic. He was in a wheelchair. And you know, his name is Harry O'Brien. He's the man. Yeah. Now this is what happened, man. I used to program stuff for Harry. Me and Harry worked together. DC came to me, man, with the record with Whoomp There It Is. He told me, you know, yo, let's make a record called Whoomp There It Is. I'm like, well, how do you spell it? Because it threw me off when he said it. And he was like, yo, he told me how to spell it and stuff. And he was like, man, here's the kicker though. It's got to be some bass music. And I wasn't doing bass music back then. You know, I was doing the West Coast or hip hop, or, you know, I really wasn't messing with the bass, man. That stuff is hard to do, really. If you from another area, bass music is something hard to do, man. It's an art. It's just like right now, trap is hard to do if you ain't from that trap area, you know. So
that's right.
DC was like, man, shit. I said, man, I don't do that, man. He said, man, just do it. I'm like, I don't do it. He said, man, just do it your way.
And I was like, look, man, the beginning of hip hop, what was the biggest record? What started the whole B-boy shit? Planet Rock.
Nah, not really. Yeah, it was part of it, but shit, it was stuff.
Planet Rock was the big hit record that got the B-boy shit popping. And then all the other Arthur Baker stuff, plus all the other electronic stuff that came in. And then Egyptian Lover came around.
With Poppin' and Breaking. With Poppin' and Breaking.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Poppin' and
I know
Breaking.
there was records like Rapping and Rocking the House and Super Rapping with, you know, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. That stuff was on the Enjoy records, you know, with the early Sugar Hill. That was a little bit before all of the Planet Rock. You know,
but see, that stuff was more the two turntables, the DJ and rocking the mic, right? Like the breakdancing and all the b-boy shit really popped off with the Planet Rock.
And stuff. Graffiti and stuff.
And it's like that's all it was, and those were our favorite records: Planet Rock, Al Nafish, The Soul, and then, you know, some of the bass stuff down here was in there too. But then it was just like, just think Planet Rock, Egyptian Lover, because we love those records. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we
why
did, man. And that's why it's a little bit different. It ain't, it's not really, it's bass, but it's a little bit different. It's an up-tempo record because there was no way we was coming out the Southeast without not doing a bass record. Just no way. You know what I mean? We had done records and people had liked them, but you wasn't about to have no hit record unless you did something up-tempo. And we lived down here.
That's where the Brain Supreme, that's why we call him the Brain Supreme.
But before we get into that, before we get into that, let's talk about this song right here.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness. I'm not the kind of person who come here to say what you like. I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not. Come on.
The time has not come, we must pick a president. Vote my people, vote, it does not cost us. And we struggle for this privilege oh so long since our ancestors were contained by shackle bonds. The time has not come for the you speak your mind. I do it with hip-hop like Panther rhymes. This is black communication in full effect. We're giving no chance to them, we seem far-fetched. You can't deny the force we have too much longer. Each day you blind yourself to us, we grow stronger. Success is revenge, we used to show that we're good if not better. Kill that Jim Crow stereotype, cause we're hyped for the stars and the stripes. The fruit of the last generation, now we're ripe. The tactics they use to diss us are unethical. I speak my mind and it's strictly political. Strictly political. Strictly political.
Hey, now that's a funky jam right there. That's a whole nother tag team that the world is not really familiar with. What was going on?
Need to know about
going on at that time?
Hey man, that was a hit record in Magic City.
What was going on at that time to make
record
you write
in Magic
that
City?
What was
man, they
going
love
on?
that record in Magic City. But we was in the South, right? You know, that was when
what was going on
Public Enemy was popping.
Yeah. Public Enemy, that's what it was. Public Enemy.
Public Enemy. It was 1992. Bill Clinton was about to be president, and it was just like, you know, my father is a scholar, you know, Black history scholar, and I learned at an early age how important it was to vote and learn what our people went through to vote. So that's why I've always voted, right? And a lot of people don't understand, and I just like, how can I let young brothers and sisters know how important it is to vote? And I was like, let me make a record. And if you really listen to the lyrics, I could play that record today and people would think it's a new record.
Exactly.
I promise you. Exactly. Just because the lyrics aren't dated. It's like the same shit that was happening back then, where they trying to disenfranchise us. They think we're not as good. All those things are still relevant today, just in different forms, right? Like you about to maybe go to the stores, get that, press it up, and put a post out tomorrow of that shit.
Hey,
because I want everybody to hear that shit.
Hey, it's ironic that you say that, being right now that we had elections going on here in Georgia.
Yeah, man.
That's so important right now.
I guarantee you, I'm gonna make it go viral.
I
guarantee you, I'm gonna make that record go viral, dog.
This is history right here. This is history right now.
But you see, that was a 12-inch record. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We pressed that up, and I gave them out to everybody, and there's still people that got that record, right? That's why we had a little bit of success with that record, because it was pressed up, and I was playing it, and the girls liked it, right? And it just worked. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you know, but then it was like I just knew that we wasn't gonna be able to get nowhere making hip hop, right? It just you know that it, and we were hip hop, man. We were every time we did songs, every time I come home to Denver for spring break or whatever break it was from college, we'd be in the studio the whole time, right? So we were in battles. When the Broncos went to the Super Bowl, we made a Super Bowl song. We would make records and be in battles against EPMD and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because we was the only thing really doing, us and maybe another group, a couple other groups were the only ones doing anything in Denver, Colorado. Right? But we was putting in work. You know what I'm saying? We was putting in work. We was getting our records out there. And then when I go back to school, I'd make 10 songs and send them to Steve. Steve make 10 songs, send them to me. I get them played. Then some of them songs would become classics. Like Steve made a song called My Bug. That shit's a classic in California because everybody drove bugs in California. Volkswagen bugs. Like, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like all those like we've been doing this since 82, 83.
Wow.
I met Steve in 1982,
Wow.
right? 11th grade, Manual High School, 84 Thunderbolts. And they influenced me because they had a band, and I wanted to be in their band, and I beat their ass down. I begged their ass to be in that band with them, right? Because it's like, oh man, we ain't trying to have you in the band. I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Wow.
Come on, man.
So,
and we all
Mr.
became
Roland,
friends.
you was doing most of the production.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he knows how to do it too, though.
Mhm.
You know, he know how to do it too. But I was doing ours, you know. Yeah.
But I love them lyrics, man. I love them lyrics, man. I'm a better rapper now than I've ever been.
Wow.
For real.
Right.
But you know, it's you know, there's a method to what's gonna be done. Like you know, hey dude, I want it all. I'm an actor, voice artist, rapper.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? A videographer, screenwriter, whatever.
Right.
I'm trying to do it all, dog. Cause you know, it ain't over till you ain't breathing.
Right.
And if this pandemic has taught me one thing, is you know, what the fuck you gonna do, right? This is like the only time in my life where it's truly survival of the fittest, where you see it, everybody's in the same boat.
Right.
We are all in the same boat. Everybody in this motherfucker trying to survive for real.
That's right.
And if you ain't really trying to, I mean, if you thinking that's gonna come back the way it was, you're tripping. You got to make your own path. You got to blaze. You got to keep pressing. Period.
That's right.
You know, and stay aggressive. And you know, we continue to be blessed. 27 years after Whoomp There It Is was released.
Wow.
You know,
27 years. That's history.
You know, with a national Geico commercial that's gonna run all year. Two of them, actually.
Did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
If you like this video, be sure and share it with your friends.
I mean, we talking about not the music business, but the business of music.
Business of music. That's one thing we were taught at Omnitech.
Not the music business, but the business of music. There's so much more that the young generation don't really be realizing about, like you say, doing the production yourself, writing the lyrics yourself, having more control of the projects. And like you say, you guys, y'all doing your production, you doing your writing. I just want to ask Steve Roland, when you was coming up with the beat, and you was digging in your crates and you came up with this song. And you was digging in your crates and you came up with that song. Did you know that was the jam? Did you realize the
He wasn't digging in no crates. We knew we was gonna use that record a year and a half before it even went down. He'll tell you the story.
Yeah, this would happen back in '83. This dude named Otis P. He was the first tag team dude with me. He was in the band that DC was talking about with us, and me and him me and him were tag team. That's where we originally started, with me and him. Now he was in Texas. He lived in Texas for a little while. He left Denver and moved to Texas. And when he was in Texas, he used to break dance to that record, I'm Ready. He came back and moved in with me and my mom, and he was telling me about the record back then. We went down to the record store, and I heard it at the record store. So that record right there was always a real memory to me of him. Later on in the years, Otis P left and went to the service. He stopped recording music and went to the service. That's when DC stepped up and said, "Man, I'm with you in this tag team." And I'm like, "Cool, let's do it."
Wow.
So,
and that song, when I was younger, that song used to get it popping.
Right.
And it was just that beginning part right there that really set it off. It was that beginning right there that used to just set the song
that's
off.
the coldest stuff, man. But check this out. This is what happened. He came back from Germany and came to visit us in Atlanta. And we went out to Club Dion's on Windy Hill.
Yeah, what is it? Dion's.
Club Dion's. And we were standing there taking a picture, man. We was taking a picture. And that record came on. And I was like, oh, I said, man, his name is Otis P, but we call him Man. I said, Man, you remember that song right there? He said, yeah, man. I said, man, that was our jam, man. I remember you came back from Texas with it. I told DC, I said, DC, we're going to use this one day, man. We're going to use this.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, no, man.
Yeah. And hey, exactly. And, you know, everybody think that it was this master plan to write Whoomp There It Is. Whoomp There It Is was just a song. There were several other candidates to be on Steve's beat too. It wasn't like this was going to be the one of all time. It was like I got a stack of writing books with lyrics all in them, right? And it's just like whatever song fits whatever beat Steve does. So that's how we always did music. I write the lyrics, I always start them out, you know, Steve does his thing. I'll be like, that's a good beat. What can I put on that beat? Because I'm always writing, right? And I've just got tons of lyrics. And that's how it went down. And all that shit came together.
That was the beat. Yeah, that's it. This is it, man. I'm like,
this is it right here. And it all came together. And it was just another song, dude.
Wow. So while we talking about that song, let's take a listen. Tag team, Whoop, there it is.
Party people! Tag team music in full effect. That's me, DC, the brain supreme. And my man Steve Rowland. We're kicking the flow. And it goes a little something like this. Tag team, back again. Check it, direct it, let's begin. Party on, party people, let me hear some noise. DC's in the house, jump, rejoices. There's a party over here, a party over there. Wave your hands in the air, shake the dairy, yeah. These three words mean you're getting busy. Whoop, there it is, Hitman. Whoop, there it is. 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 Upside down and inside out. I'm about to show all you folks what it's all about. Now it's time for it to get on the mic and make this party hot. I'm taking it back to the old school, cause I'm an old fool who's so cool. If you wanna get down, I'ma show you the way. Whoop, there it is, let me hear you say whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
I mean, a monster hit record. Took over.
Oh my goodness.
Took over for that year. Just took all the way over.
You know what
From
really
that on.
You know what really amazed me? That it stayed like at the top of the 8 at 8 that whole year, man. I don't know how it did that, man, but I was like, wow, every time I listened to it, that was the #1 song on the 8 at 8. And it just seemed like
Goodness. And you know what?
I don't know how it happened, man.
I remember they would play that song at the Braves Stadium, man. I worked at the stadium, and that song they would play every game at the stadium, man. And I'm talking about with people from all over, everywhere. So there had to be a really big influence on the spread of that record, man. Because away teams here, they hearing and how the Atlanta crowd reacting to it. It was just phenomenal, man. That's what that song was bigger than. Oh my goodness!
Now y'all look. There was that other song too. That Whoop, there it is, right?
Right, 69 Boyz.
And a lot of people hated us for that. Yeah. They didn't understand that. We don't know nothing. We didn't know nothing about that. Real talk, man. Check this out.
Okay.
We recorded that song. Harry O. We went to Harry O to record it. Harry O said, "I want to take you to." He told me, he said, "Steve, I want to take y'all to a friend of mine's studio because he has a 24-track machine." you know, because I only have 16 here, and you're gonna need more. So it was like cool. So we went to this other spot called Perfection Sound, which was out there in Smyrna, off of John Quill Drive. And my friend, the late great Donnie Mack, Don McKenzie, he was the man that it was his studio. Actually, Harry O and his assistant recorded it. They recorded Whoomp There It Is, the original Whoomp There It Is for us. And then from there, once we went back and redid it, because we did it in August, but in August of '92 we recorded the song, and we took it. He took it to Magic City and played it, and it actually blew up. Then the people was coming. He said, "Man, we got a hit record, man," and so he started going around to different spots, you know, different record companies, and trying to get a deal. But you know, that's another thing. We'll get to that later. But anyway,
yeah.
We went. I said, man, the record ain't right to me because we had the Magic City girls on it, and their energy wasn't as strong as I thought it could be. So I got a whole nother gang of people, and we came in again and redid the song, redid the energy. We did the background crowds and the Whoomp There It Is and all that. We did it all. Now we went back to mix it. I think it was like in January or something of 93, and we mixed it at a recording studio called Kala. And Kala happened to be Ichiban's record label. Ichiban's studio that they recorded at the Ichiban artist. And I didn't know that. We mixed the record there. I mixed it with a dude named George. One day I went in there like to get, I think, a clean version of something or instrumental or something. And they had these two records in there. It was the same record, but it was two of them. And they said, Whoop There It Is on it. And it was by 95 South. And the guy that was the manager of the studio was like, man, we saw this man last week. And we said to ourselves, man, I hope Steve don't think that we stole this record from him. Because it was getting ready to come out on Ichiban. And, you know, me not knowing nothing, I was like, yeah. So later on that evening, I talked to DC and told him about it, and I forgot what happened after that, boy. But this man right here he was like, shit, we gonna get us a deal, man.
So I heard that y'all put up y'all own money at first and got some of the records printed up.
Exactly.
Yeah, took them to Tina.
We got the cassette tapes. We got cassette tapes printed up, not records, cassette tapes.
Okay.
His dad, DC's dad, lent us the money to do it, and we put them we put them in Tina's what was Tina's store at that time? What was that?
Bernard Records.
Bernard's. Yeah, man. I always be thinking about Theo and thinking about Super Sound, but it was Bernard's. Yeah, Bernard.
We had it in one.
But remember the Blizzard? Remember the Blizzard of 93?
Right.
Yeah, 93. Blizzard of 93. It was that weekend, and we sold 500 in 5 days. We sold 500 cassettes, and in a blizzard. And you know who else sold out too? 8-Ball MJG's first album.
Wow.
It was us and 8-Ball MJG's first album, Coming Out Hard.
Coming out hard.
Because Tina was like just raving about that, right? She was like, man, you heard the 8-Ball MJG? I was like, nah. She's like, man, you gotta get the 8-Ball MJG. And it was like, that was that pimp shit back then. And it hadn't really, you know, the Memphis stuff hadn't even really matriculated down to Atlanta yet. You know what I mean? Like we had a couple, you know, the first record like that I heard was the Hard Boys, right? And the Hard Boys did good. Yeah. The Hard Boys was doing good. Yeah, exactly. So, and then the 8-Ball MJG came, and that's why it's such a classic, because it filtered through the Southeast, and nobody really even knew, but it was like the people, the culture knew, right? And that's why, you know, they're the forefathers of that whole shit, right? Because they was one of the first ones to do it. But we dropped that, and I was trying to get a record deal, but everybody was bullshit. You know, major labels don't be knowing what they're hearing when they hear it. And even if you do give them, you know, you give them the game, right? So I was about to give up. And then Lisa McCall from Mercury Records said, you need to call Al Bell. He put out the Deuce record. And I was like, oh, yeah, Deuce. You know, Daisy Dukes, right? Tony Mercedes and them, right? And that record was a big record. That record went gold. And I was like, all right, I'll call him. I called Al Bell. He used to own Stax Records. Mavis Staple, Isaac Hayes, Otis Redding. The one, the Stax Records, the original, yeah. So, I called him, and then he didn't call me back for about a week. And then he called me a week later, and I was like, look, man, I got a record. I'm in the hottest club in the city. I tested this record. They go nuts when I play it. You need this record. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, you ain't even heard the record. He's like, I ain't got to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit. Wow. And I was like, all right. Yeah. And he gave us a record deal on site. Now, it was a fucked up record deal. It was a fucked up record deal, but it's all good.
That man used to say, DC was he reminded
Black
me of
Jesus.
Yeah, Black Moses.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
So
man.
y'all went from not being able to get a deal to getting a deal.
To having a deal to 2 months later being platinum.
2 months later.
Wow.
2 months.
Being platinum in 2 months. Wow.
2 months.
That's wild. Especially in this climate. That's like almost impossible in today's climate.
Hey man.
Well, what was that change like, man?
Well,
in that short time frame, what was that like, man? Like going. I mean, we talking about 2 months later, man. Hey
man, we've been waiting for that shit all our lives, dude. It wasn't nothing.
Yeah, okay.
It was good
though. It was good.
It was time to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was time to go to work.
I had a little family, so it was real good for me, man.
Actually, this shit was right on time.
Yeah, I bought a big ass house in Buckhead, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was right on time. And off the rip, we was doing shows. Off the rip, we was doing shows. Right. We was doing appearances. Then, we got on the Budweiser Super Tour with Shy, Belle Biv DeVoe, SWV, Jay, MC Light. Who else? There's one more. Shy. Oh, Silk.
Silk.
Our Atlanta mates, And we went on tour. We went on tour and toured all over the country on the Budweiser, and that was the gold standard of tours, the Budweiser Superfest. And we did that shit off the rip, dog.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And
we opened up, but boy, when we opened up, man, they was fired up after that.
We was the energy. Yeah, man. Always, man.
Tough act. I can imagine. I can imagine that tough act to follow.
Ain't too many people done no Apollo. Not too many people from down here done no Apollo.
Wow.
I can tell you that. Right. And we did the Apollo, and we did 3 songs of Apollo. I almost got yanked the fuck off.
Wow.
Out of respect for Whoomp There It Is, they didn't yank us off.
Wow.
When we stopped and Whoomp There It Is came on, that place went nuts.
Wow.
The Apollo Theater, the old lady that be doing all, she was going ham. I mean, it was like she was doing backflips down the aisle. Everybody was dancing. Everybody was partying in the middle of fucking Harlem, dog. It was going down. Like, I remember those things vividly because now they mean everything. Those memories mean everything. Back then, it's just another show. We knew the significance, but now, now Apollo's owned by, a big corporation, and it's not, 100% Harlem no more. It meant something, Right. And we was on the stage, we on the stage with legends. We've been on, we touched the same wood legends touched, from the beginning of black music. So the relevance is incredible because, we have been blessed enough to be able to do things that I don't care that hardly any artist in this industry will be able to do. And still doing shit.
How did it feel How did it feel to step on the field halftime at a Super Bowl event?
I mean, just step on the field, do what you gotta do, and get the hell on. I mean, hey man, we have never been rah-rah dudes. You know what I'm saying? We put in the work. Yeah. We put in the work. We go do what we gotta do, and we go home. It's simple.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's simple, man.
Right.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, we never even had like security. We ain't never had security or nothing, man. You know, we had a couple of these niggas following us a little bit, but
yeah, man, we ain't stars. Hey, man, we two down to earth brothers.
Matter of fact, shake
your hand. You know what I'm saying? We ain't tripping.
Right. Matter of fact, that song was way larger than us. That song is still larger than us. You know, the song is large, man.
The song is large.
That's where,
the song is larger than us, man. So you know,
it mean a lot to a lot of people, man, because you know, just somebody be in a bad mood, man. You know, you play that song right there, man. Come on, you gotta. You know, they might be mad, but that shoulder gonna start moving. Something, you know what I'm talking about? Because it's just like
you gonna sing
one of those songs, man. That's high energy, and it's just a feel good song, man. It just done a whole lot for the culture to me, man. As far as you know, like just playing it at parties and clubs. Because I was, you know, I was on a part of the J team, so we did use a lot of y'all. You know, we done mixed it with everything. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Hey, you know what? Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell you something. This is just I'm just gonna say this, man. The 95 South version, me personally, I like that better than ours, but I love ours. Now, the reason I like theirs better is because theirs was true bass music. Like, you know, I bought a new type of bass music to the game. You know, it wasn't that real true stuff. It was something else. And that something else is probably what got us over. You know, but theirs was true.
Oh yeah, for sure. We played theirs a lot too now.
Yeah,
played theirs a lot too now.
And
it sounds bad, man. And I ain't got nothing but respect for them dudes, man. Even though they ain't got that for us, they was really hating us, man. You know, we think it might go down one time.
Yeah, hate always go up. It don't come down. Hate go up. They always hate that's up. They hate the ones that's up.
But like I said, man, I really enjoyed their track. That shit was a bad motherfucker, man. Them dudes is real bass. Exactly. Oh, that's our boy. Thrill. That's our boy, man. Thrill, man. He a real true dude, man. And you know,
the process.
My favorite was A-Town Players.
A-Town Players. Shout out.
Everybody forget that they came out right at the same time. A-Town Players, you know, Whoomp There It Is version. There was about in the end, it was like 20 different versions of Whoomp There It Is, because everybody just jumped on it. It was a popular saying. Everybody ran with it, and that's what happened. It was a coincidence, and that's it. You know what I mean?
But, you know, it's a difference because the one y'all made is the one that the world knows, and it's not only that, but the corporate world knows. They use y'all music to push products. They use y'all music to push movies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like.
Kick it.
Oh yeah, party time with the Adams family. With a little help from DC, the brain supreme, and my man Steve Bowden, tag team. Adams family, the Adams family. Come on, Adams family, the Adams family. Back again, the Adams family, new baby in the house.
Now that song had a lot to do with the success of that movie.
Yeah, you know, Hammer did the one right before that, so you know that lets you know. You know, it was something big.
Y'all knocked at some doors. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they was coming calling. They was coming and calling.
And then you know, like people think that you know, Whoomp There It Is all we can do. They don't understand that Whoomp There It Is all they wanted to pay us for.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Right.
It's still like that, you know.
But that just like you were saying earlier, that song that showed you how big that song was. That song, I mean, like I say, I understand. Y'all humble guys. I understand that. But y'all made a song that was so big. Y'all made a song so big that Disney came calling. Ask a rapper nowadays, do they got connection with Disney?
Oh, even Geico.
Oh, Geico, Baby, and all these rappers, do they got any connection with Disney? Disney.
Yeah, I mean, that's a blessing. That's a big blessing right there.
Yeah, that
I mean,
like this.
and that's why I love that song. That's why I love that song right there.
That's big when Disney come a knocking, and not only once, they didn't come knocking once, but they came knocking twice when they made this movie, right?
Oh yeah.
Nah, this was
that wasn't
this was
Disney, but
what was this? That wasn't Disney. No, this was Columbia. Yeah, this was Columbia Pictures.
Columbia Pictures.
Yeah, then Disney came, and then Universal came for Blank Man, and then what else? And then, tons of television performances, Arsenio, the whole nine. We did Conan O'Brien. We did one of Conan O'Brien's first shows. Conan O'Brien.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
One of his first shows. Yeah.
Yeah. And this
the first
is just
season.
something for the younger people to see. Like I say, everybody's so focused on the music business, but again, the business of music and how you can be licensing your songs for different things and doing movies and soundtracks and all these type of things when people just trying to make a song to go get played at the club when there's so much more to the business of music.
Hey, listen, man.
Hey,
this is something that I think that everybody need to know. This is something that I think everybody need to know. And DC is the man that came up with it. Hey, tell them your philosophy, man, about what a person really should need to know about this whole music situation. If a young person came to you right now and said, what could you tell me to help me out in this game?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
tell them that.
So the rest of my life is dedicated to putting people on game, right? And all I'm trying to do is tell people and relate to them the things I wish somebody had told us. You know how we all had them old school players that told us good game about the streets, right? Mm-hmm. But we didn't have too many people that told us, put us on game about the music industry and whatnot. So, my mission is just to be able to be a mentor to all these young cats or old cats or anybody who just trying to come up, because it ain't never too late. It ain't about trying to have a hit record and be an artist. It's about business, right? And there's so many different ways that you can come in this business and make your money, right? And you can be quiet about it if you do it and be big and make a lot of money. Right. So, when people run up on me like, hey, DC, can you help me this? Can you help me that? What can I do? I have a folder, and I said, I'm going to send you a link. I said, you read that book, them books, and look at that video, and then we can talk. Give my number and everything. And nobody ever calls me back. There's been one guy called me back and did what I said, and we talked about music publishing. Mm-hmm. We talked about business, and he understood. And then the things he didn't understood, I explained them to him. And then I went to the next phase. I said, okay. He's like, what's next? I said, all right, I'm going to show you how to get shows. So I showed him how to get shows. This is an Army veteran. The dude was in Afghanistan. He got post-traumatic stress disorder. And he wrote about his time in a foxhole. And I know that, he's doing shows now. Before the pandemic, he was doing good. He had started learning how to make beats. He was making his own songs, and he was poised to do it. But, the pandemic came. I really haven't heard from the brother, but I imparted knowledge to him that helped him in life, right? Like, he might not be doing it in the music industry, but he sees how there's other ways to skin a cat and there's other ways to get to where you need to be. Right. And it's all about, for me, it's all about taking everything that I've been through, my experiences, all my pain, all my joy, and using it for positivity. Right. Whatever pain, whatever hate anybody throw toward me, I take it, put it in my pocket, and I use it. And I keep pushing, and I don't stop. Yes, and that's what you got to do. You know what I mean? And that's how you truly succeed. And if, that's how I do it. I can't do it no other way. I'm pushing. I don't care. I want it all. For real. Mm-hmm. I've only scratched the surface of what I plan to do. You know what I mean? And that's just how I think. But for, a lot of people find themselves hating and being old and bitter. You know what I mean? Like a lot of our colleagues sit around old and bitter, pissed off at the younger generation. And I'm like, I wish we could go back to the old school. And it's like, motherfucker, ain't no time machine. You right here right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make no sense being mad that you can't have no time machine to go back. It's like, first of all, you cannot hate on young people for being young. It's their time. Let them be young. You should know their game. You should already know their game. Know what they doing. Know how they moving. I do. I'm not going to do that, but at least I know it. But I have one thing that they do not have, and they will never have. I have experience. And to put that experience along with what they doing, you can make something totally new because I know where to go with it, right? It's all the same thing. It just sounds different, but it's all the concept is the same, you know? And if you make music, there are so many different ways to sell your music today, way more than it was back then. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about online. I'm talking about just in business. So, I mean, cats got to, you know, I'm going to help anybody and put them on game. You know, my agent is pushing me for motivational speaking. When we get back to doing audiences, I'm going to be motivational speaking, spitting game to people and getting paid for it. Okay. Because I know that, you know, I've studied this. I'm a part of organizations that do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got mentors that are teaching me how to do it. I wake up every day and I got tutors teaching me how to do music production, music theory, SEO, how to build website, everything that acting, anything that I want to learn. I got somebody that can teach me how to do it. Yeah. And I'm going to do it because
knowledge is power.
It's about having an incredible toolbox, right? So if any situation arises, you're prepared, you know? And a lot of times in my life, I haven't been prepared for great opportunities that came my way. And I was like, that'll never happen again if I got anything to do with it. You know what I mean? So I prepare, I get up, I wake up, I work, I prepare and put tag this paper. 27 years later after we released the fucking record.
Right.
Hey, man.
But
you know what I'm saying? You got to put in work. It don't never stop, ever.
If you most definitely have a link, man, where you want people to, you know, you want to spread that knowledge, man, any kind of link or ways you want people to be able to, you know, to get at you, man. If you want to plug that, man, anything, you know, before we go same as Steve.
Hey, man,
you know,
just type in tag team or type in Whoomp, there it is, or type in DC Glenn and you'll find us. It's that simple.
That's right.
How about yourself, Steve?
It's that simple.
How can they find you if they need to find you?
Tag team. Go to tag team.
Just type in tag team. You're gonna find them. You're gonna find him, or you're gonna find me. We don't set the breadcrumbs up like that. See, that's part of it. People gotta find you. 4 years ago, nobody knew where to find us.
Right.
I was like, oh hell no. I had to figure out how to make. You know, we had to change that. Hey man, 4 years ago, when you would type in tag team in a Google search, everything would come up as wrestling. You type in tag team now, everything comes up us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's called search engine optimization. That shit took me 10 years to learn that.
For y'all that don't know.
It took me 10 years to learn that, but I learned it because it always changes. It's a moving target, right? And I've got mentors that teach me, and they've taught me well. And now, when it comes to marketing, I'm learning new things every day because it changes every day. Yeah. Learning how to build funnels, how to build marketing funnels, learning how to do all the Shark Tank shit, but on the street level, right?
That's right.
And then try to teach it to the street game to make the street game better. That's where you make your money, because knowledge is power and knowledge is money.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason Damon John making all the millions. There's a reason all those gurus are making all that money, because people want that. People want to succeed, and they need help, right? Yeah. And you know, it's just up to the individual to get all the knowledge you can, and then implement it in your life and prosper. And you know, especially now, what else you gonna do? We're a pandemic. You know, it's getting back to normal and everything. Everybody still do what they got to do, but there was a point where, you know, everybody was just sitting around like, what the hell am I going to do? And it's like, that's when people need to be working. I was like, what you going to do? And I got to it.
Don't stop.
Yeah, man. So now I'm booking for voiceover. I'm acting. I shot 2 movies during the pandemic. I just booked the Tyler Perry gig. We just got the Geico commercial. We about to go to Vermont and shoot a TV commercial. Then another ice cream company called us with negotiation for that. That happened today. Okay. But that might, a lot of people call and they ain't serious, but opportunities are starting to trickle in, right? And I'm waiting for the numbers so I can see what the ad value of tag team is. Do we make people switch from the old insurance to Geico insurance? Right. Because if I get those numbers, then now we can go to any company and be like, look, let's go. Right. Here go the numbers right here. Here's what you want to do. We'll think. I'll help you think of it. I'm a producer. I'm a screenwriter. I'm a director. Let's do it. Come on.
Right. Then again, we talking about the business of music.
Business of music, man.
Checks outside of record sales. Checks
ain't no more, but there ain't no more record sales. Yeah. Not really. There's views and shit like that, but you gotta. There are people making money in different ways. Everybody's not making the money the same way like they used to back in the day. Everybody's different. Everybody's hustle is different, and people just trying to find their way. And the ones who are the most creative and have the best music kind of win. But then once all the shows stopped, that changed everything. Now everybody got to reinvent. Like, what am I going to do? If you were dependent on shows, you short because there ain't going to be no shows for a while. So, I mean, it's just about, this is, like I said, man, this is the truest time in history where it is survival of the fittest and life is throwing darts at your ass, Life is coming at you. And it's like, what you gonna do?
That's right.
But enough of me preaching. I gotta get back to work, gentlemen. Yeah, I would love to stay on with y'all all night, but I got to go.
It's an honor and a pleasure, man. We so glad to have both of y'all come in. It's like I say, we want to just give y'all praise and y'all props while y'all here, because y'all did have a big impact on the game, a big impact on.
Give them guys they roses. Thanks, man. Give them they roses for sure, man. But like I say, hey, I like to appreciate y'all both for coming on. I know DC was very much a surprise, that extra added bonus, man. But hey, that was much love, man. We appreciate y'all, guys. We love y'all here in Atlanta, man. And hey, y'all just keep working, man.
And let me tell you something. Don't stop, baby. Let me tell you two brothers something. Let me tell you two brothers something, man. I do podcasts all the time, and y'all on y'all shit. I ain't never like y'all DJing this shit. Like y'all coming in like. You waiting for the right time to come in and bring your segues and bow before it be like it was flawless. Like the shit that y'all did tonight was straight impressive, and I'm here to tell you straight up because I do this too. So I'm just letting y'all know, man. To the heart. I appreciate y'all prepared. Y'all did your research. That means a lot, dude. You know what I mean? It means a lot because people don't be prepared. It should be a little janky, but y'all shit is on point, and you doing a good service to the people of Atlanta that they know why it is they're able to do the shit that they do right now in 2021. Yeah, because we laid the foundation. We laid the foundation for this whole city to be able to do the shit that they're doing now.
That's the motto of this show, man. It's the motto of it, really, man. Y'all being the foundation. To where they, to build that building, man, to make it stand strong and tall, man. So y'all most definitely a great part and influence, man, on that. And we appreciate y'all guys, man, for sure.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, man. I'm out of here. Salute.
We gone, man. Hey, make sure y'all tune in next week. We got another special guest coming next week. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that notification so you ain't got to call me and say, what time y'all supposed to be going on? Hit the notification button. Hey, Atlanta Rap History, Magik Mar, let them know where they can find you at.
Man, they can find me on IG at Magik with a K, more 100. All the time, let's get it, y'all.
Steve Rowland, let them know where they can find you at.
You can get me on IG with Merciless Music. Right there. That's what it is. Merciless.
DC Supreme, let them know where they can find you at.
Type in DC Glenn anywhere. I'm coming up.
Hey, and y'all can always find me on Atlanta Rap History on Instagram and on Facebook. You got to know me to know me. Hey, we out. We appreciate y'all.
And YouTube.